that work? Oh, it worked. Okay, thank God. I had to press numlock. What? Ooh, why? Whatever. Alright, thank goodness we have it. So yeah, best of 3 now up on the board. So GuMiHo versus Byun for our first semifinal. I don't know what the other semifinal was because the bracket didn't update, but I assume it's like Max Pax versus Nina. Because like Nina was waiting there. Or no, Cure, actually. Cure was waiting. So I assume Max Pax won versus Nina, but I don't actually know. But anywho, we're in this semifinal. So the winner of this faces the winner of question mark? Eh? Who knows? It's an Alt-Tab, which will freeze up the screen. Yeah, I don't know. It's possible that Steadfast just went over to catch Max Pax versus Nina. I'm not sure. But we're gonna watch this TvT and worry about that a little bit later. So this TvT, we're gonna have the GuMiHo, who was displaying a lot of odd Cyclone shenanigans yesterday in his TvTs versus Cure, versus Byun, who generally is just a more aggressive Terran. I don't think he's going to be all that gung-ho testing the Cyclone changes. He's going to stick to his good old 2-base, not 2-base, but 2 racks openers, and, you know, maybe medevac drop openers, and then probably typical TvT into an 8 racks, you know how we do. So GuMiHo is going to have to deal with the 2 racks, but it's not in proxy in any way, shape, or form. In fact, this will more often than not kind of be a lead-in to a 2-1-1, where Byun gains control again from the get-go. From the first Reaper to the first drop, he'll be the one that's on the aggressive front, and then GuMiHo will kind of be forced to play defensive, which he might not have been planning on doing, but now as he realizes what's going on, might. 2 Reapers already showing their faces for Byun, despite the trans advantage of GuMiHo. Byun is going to win the Reaper war to begin with, and a 3rd and 4th Reaper will be coming soon. 4th literally just popped out, it's not anytime soon. Cyclone pops out pretty quick, though. And while it's still a little glass cannon-y, generally you don't think that the Reapers will beat this guy, as long as there's any amount of fodder otherwise. We'll see if that is true. Byun's 4 Reapers probably know what they're going to be up against. This is the common way to open now. Gonna snipe the SCV? Nope, not quite. There we go. Get the delay there. You can see GuMiHo is very tentative to just send his Cyclone forward. He knows that a grenade could pop it even more forward, and then suddenly he does get sniped. You absolutely need to be careful. Another snipe on the command center's SCV, and there's the Cyclone dive! First one goes down, second one is speedy quick, however, and Byun will not be able to snowball off of that. Still, grabbing some crucial extra seconds delayed on GuMiHo's command center. And grabbing the entire Cyclone for the cost of his Reapers makes his opener that much more effective. He still is behind on the command center timing, however. He is ahead 2 SCVs, so. He killed 2, he's ahead by 2, makes sense. Medevac is still on the way for GuMiHo. It's going to be on the way for Byun, too. It's not a guarantee that that 2 racks follows up into a designated 2-1-1 Tech Lab reactor and then into Medevac, especially because you don't get that many Marines that quickly. But it can very typically go into that. Right now, Byun is just producing barracks units. Cyclone and a Medevac. It's gonna have... Oh my god, okay, I actually just caught GuMiHo's Medevac. That's a little more important. I was just thinking of what Byun is going to do. Pick up his own 2 Cyclones, have the Reapers jump up with them, pick up the Marines, attack the Natural with the Cyclones. Something along those lines, but then his first Cyclone caught GuMiHo's Medevac. Very unfortunate for GuMiHo. I mean, really, just unlucky. Now he has to go back home, repair up all his stuff, which he'll be able to do, that's well and good, but his whole plan to actually get a little bit of a jab back at Byun is now ruined, and now Byun is once again in control on the offensive. That tank is going to cause some problems. Byun not going to find too much to do here, I think. Not with the tank set up and the Raven available as well. Certainly his best bet is to just drop these Marines into the SCV line 100%. Meanwhile, his army does attempt to go into the Natural, but like I said, that tank, hard stop. Nonetheless, Marines denying a lot of mining time and grabbing 3 SCVs before skedaddling is pretty freaking good. GuMiHo's own Medevac, now of 8 Marines as well, went the long way, is now headed towards Byun's main, of which there are very little defensive units set up. Just a couple of Marines. A Raven did pop out, but here comes the rest of the army back home, and this will be enough. This will be enough. Did 3 more SCVs just die? No, that was just that was the old 3. Never mind. So GuMiHo is still behind by 2 workers. Unlikely to refine the same damage here, especially if Byun's Reapers are still around, and indeed they are. Very quick to the response. Yeah, don't let the Cyclone lock on. Yeah. But that also will mean that GuMiHo will not grab. Oh, he did! He unloaded just to grab that supply depot, and that does successfully supply block Byun. Not for too long, but still. Byun's on medevac drop. Kind of giving up on its attempted harassment by the looks of things. Actually, he might be coming back to help out with the surrounds. Byun, now realizing his opponent is attacking him, is definitely caught a little off guard. His army will be corralled or will turn into a nice surround, which it's going to be. It's going to be a little bit of a surround, but interesting choice. I'm not sure that he meant to interference matrix the medevac. Uh-oh. Byun. He is not in a good place, that's for sure. Actually, he's going to be in a losing place. Straight up, he's going to lose here. Oh, my mouse is going all screwy. He is absolutely going to lose. That was not the fight that he was hoping to take. His army had potential. Its micro could have been very different if he realized that GuMiHo was pushing him, but it got screwy real quick. The bottom right, up 1, it is GuMiHo. The top left of Site Delta, it is Byun, who is sending out an SCV, by the way. Cheeky cheek. Like I said, Byun had, I think, enough tools that in a ideal situation, one where he realizes GuMiHo is pushing out, he has a better setup. He can probably get an actual surround as opposed to kind of the last second one that he kind of got, but not really. Or probably the safer bet was that he could have consolidated his entire army all together. And then with an SEV pool, he would certainly, I think, have, well, maybe not certainly, but I think he would have been okay. He would have maybe lost too many SEVs and would have had to recover, but he would have lived. He was on a significantly lower number of tanks with all the shenanigans he was up to. So that was always going to be his downfall. But that can be overcome by, you know, good concave, appropriate use of the Reaper grenades, some better Cyclone lock-ons before they got corralled into a non-microable position. The Raven interference matrix, like I said, I'm not sure they wanted to go on top of the medevac. It does delay, it denies the healing, so it's not totally ineffective, but it just isn't usually the main target. So yeah, it could have gone a lot better. But now Byun is just gonna say, you know what? Proxy 2 racks, sucker. Unfortunately, GuMiHo is 2-raxing at home, which is kind of the natural counter to what Byun is doing. With an SEV scout as well, it 100% is the natural counter. Because GuMiHo now just keeps his Reapers at home. These Reapers still arrive faster than his opponents. You'd have to really mess up your Reaper micro to lose this for GuMiHo. Who has a 3-worker lead, and will hold on to that most likely. He should absolutely realize he's being 2-racks and not build a command center. I guess he was just scouting to see if the Reapers were hanging around there. And Byun knows he's been scouted, but he doesn't know what his opponent's build order is. Now he'll know with the second Reaper up, and he's already been trapped, so GuMiHo is going to win the Reaper war, give chase, because he has the Reaper advantage, and, well, it is not looking so great for Byun in this tournament. On his last life, getting kind of hard countered, not winning the micro battle. It can go a little crazy, though. We could have a pseudo base trade, in fact, but in this case, it just looks like a super advantage for GuMiHo. Yeah. Byun was hoping the threat of his production was going to keep all of GuMiHo's Reapers at home, but GuMiHo just relied on his reinforcements plus the potential SCV pool if really necessary. Good mass repair to stop this from going completely terribly, but that's still 5 SCVs killed when he already had a 2-worker deficit. Generally, 6-worker advantage for GuMiHo, I would say, puts him in a almost unlosable position because it's so early on. 6 SCVs is a huge impact. GuMiHo already starting up his command center. Byun maybe wasn't planning on doing that anyway, but yeah, certainly is going to have one anytime soon. Starport instead is on the way. He does chase down GuMiHo's Reaper. His last couple of Reapers, by the looks of things, GuMiHo had moved on to Marine production. So that gives Beyond the map control. And he is probably just going to go for a medevac and lift up everything that he can and try to bust GuMiHo. But GuMiHo is going to have a couple of strong units. Tank included. Yeah, by the time the medevac makes its way over, the tank will absolutely be out. So unless these Reapers can overpower the Marines and Cyclones right here, right now, a medevac isn't really going to do, I think, enough to help out. Not the tank. A whole freaking tank, that's pretty powerful. Oh, a Banshee as well. The Banshee being just the easiest call, actually. You know, you could get a Raven and play a typical TvT if you thought that this was going to be more even than it is. Your opponent's less desperate than he is. And then that has its own strengths. But if your opponent's literally going to all in with nothing that shoots up, Banshee's pretty powerful. That's definitely going to make things the easiest thing ever. The easiest hold ever is about to be had. Now, Byun has to do what he's got to do, and what he's got to do is just all in again. Yeah, that's not a good sign. You don't want to hear that tank fire, that's for sure. You don't want to see that Banshee either. The amount of Marines is also pretty solid, to be honest. This is holdable without the tank and the Banshee. Yeah. Well, maybe the grenades would have screwed up a little bit, but certainly with the tank and Banshee. GG's. GuMiHo will 2-0 Byun. Move on to the finals. Lickety splits, which means we are heading to the other side of the bracket to see what's going on there.